Welcome to our explore into the origins of the first Americans. Historically, it was believed that the initial settlers of North America, known as the Clovis people, crossed over from Asia via a land bridge approximately 13,000 to 13,500 years ago. Today we'll delve into how new discoveries are reshaping this view, the Clovis first theory. For decades, the Clovis first theory stood as the cornerstone of our understanding of human migration to the Americas. This theory stated that the first settlers, known as the Clovis people, made their way across the Bering land bridge from Siberia to Alaska, then spread throughout the Americas around 13,000 years ago. It was believed that these pioneers were the ancestors of all indigenous populations in the Western Hemisphere. However, this once unquestioned narrative is now undergoing a significant reevaluation due to groundbreaking archaeological and genetic discoveries. Recent findings have begun to suggest a more complex prehistory than previously imagined. Evidence from various sites across North and South America indicates that human presence in these continents predates the Clovis culture. For example, sophisticated tools and artifacts, distinct from those associated with Clovis technology, have been found in multiple locations and are dated to be several thousand years older. These discoveries imply not only an earlier human presence, but also point to the possibility of multiple waves of migration into the Americas, each bringing different cultures and technologies. Moreover, advancements in genetic testing have revealed deeper and more diverse links between ancient Siberians, East Asians, and the earliest Americans, further complicating the simple narrative of a single migratory route or founding population. These genetic insights show a mixing of populations in northeastern Asia before these groups ventured into the New World, suggesting a more nuanced interaction between migrating groups over thousands of years. As a result, the rigid framework of the Clovis first theory is giving way to a more dynamic understanding of prehistoric migration into the Americas, recognizing that the people of these continents was far more complex and layered process than previously thought. This shift in perspective not only enriches our understanding of human history, but also respects the diverse origins of America's indigenous peoples. Beyond Clovis, revising the historical tapestry. The evolution of this narrative brings us to a broader consideration of the pre-Clovis populations, a term now widely used in scholarly discussions to describe the earlier inhabitants of the Americas. Archaeological evidence from sites like Monteverde in Chile and the Bluefish Caves in Canada supports the presence of human activity well before the era traditionally assigned to the Clovis culture. These sites, dated to over 14,500 years ago, feature tools, remains, and environmental evidence that clearly indicate human settlement. This shift from a Clovis-centric view has encouraged researchers to re-examine the routes that might have led these early peoples into the Americas. While the ice-free corridor in what is now Canada was long considered the primary entry route, some scientists propose that coastal routes along the Pacific could have been viable pathways as well, facilitated by marine resources and technology suitable for oceanic travel. The re-evaluation of human migration patterns also aligns with indigenous oral histories, which often speak of origins and journeys that predate modern archaeological estimates. Integrating these narratives with scientific research enriches the historical context and honors the deep, varied histories of indigenous communities. As research continues, the story of human arrival in the Americas is likely to be further refined. The emphasis on multiple entry points and waves of migration challenges the once dominant model and highlights a more intricate interplay of human movement across landscapes dramatically different from today's. This unfolding story underscores the adaptability and resilience of early human populations and sets a new course for understanding the people of the New World. Reassessing Beringia's role in human migration. Beringia, a land bridge that once connected what are now Alaska and the Russian Far East, is central to understanding human migration to the Americas. During the last ice age, when sea levels were significantly lower. This expanse formed a vital corridor for populations moving from Asia. Not merely a passageway, Beringia was a significant habitat in its own right, a refuge amid the planet's harsh climatic extremes. The area's unique environmental conditions meant that while vast ice sheets encased much of the northern continents, Beringia remained largely ice-free. This allowed it to support a diverse range of wildlife and sustain human populations during what some scholars term the Beringian standstill. During this period, which may have spanned several millennia, the people living in Beringia became genetically and culturally distinct from their Asian ancestors. Supported by genetic evidence, the theory of the Beringian standstill suggests a profound period of isolation and adaptation. These early inhabitants developed unique genetic traits and cultural practices, preparing them for future migrations into uncharted territories as the climate warmed and the ice receded. As barriers of ice diminished, these groups embarked on a series of migrations, not as a singular wave, but in varied groups over time. They traversed eastward into North America, encountering and adapting to diverse ecosystems. Each migration wave diversified the genetic and cultural landscape of the Americas, contributing to the rich tapestry of indigenous heritage. The exploration of Beringia not only elucidates a physical route of migration, but also highlights the adaptability of early human populations to extreme environmental conditions. This ongoing research continues to reshape our understanding of how the Americas were populated, suggesting a complex, multi-stage process that began far earlier than once believed. As we continue to delve into the depths of human prehistory, our understanding of how the Americas were populated is constantly evolving. The journey from a single theory perspective centered on the Clovis first model to a richer, more complex narrative reflects the dynamic nature of scientific discovery. The archaeological and genetic evidence that challenges and expands the Clovis first theory not only reshapes our historical narratives, but also brings us closer to a more accurate understanding of the indigenous people's diverse origins. By integrating new scientific findings with indigenous oral histories, we gain a broader, more nuanced view of the past. The story of Beringia and its role as both a refuge and a corridor underscores the resilience and ingenuity of the early peoples who traversed these landscapes. Their journeys did not merely end with their arrival in the Americas. They marked the beginning of a diverse range of cultures and civilizations that we continue to learn from today. As research progresses, it is clear that the history of human migration to the Americas is far from a closed book. Each discovery adds a new layer of knowledge, challenging us to reconsider our perspectives and appreciate the complexity of human history. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time, as we continue to explore and understand the origins of the first Americans. Please consider subscribing to this channel and hit the notification bell icon to stay informed.